The origins of the spotlight effect. Have you ever felt like you're the star of a play in the drama of life? You walk out the door and feel like all eyes are on you. That's the trap of excessive self-consciousness. Famous philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Man is a being for others." You might think that sounds all deep and philosophical, but the truth is, we can't escape the gaze of others. And when we believe that everyone is watching us, a feeling of anxiety starts to creep in. This anxiety becomes stronger when we begin overanalyzing every little move we make. We start seeing ourselves as the center of the universe, and everything around us becomes overemphasized. But what's the reality? When you feel like the whole world is watching, you might just be a shadow in the crowd. Why do we fall into the spotlight effect? 1. Focusing too much on ourselves. Imagine you walk into a meeting, and there's a tiny stain on your shirt. You immediately think, everyone will see it and think I look sloppy. But in reality, while you're stressing over the stain, everyone else is probably too busy worrying about their own stains or thinking about what's for dinner tonight. Michel de Montaigne, the French philosopher, once shared a story about attending a dinner party where he felt his eating habits were impolite. In his mind, it was a huge mistake. But looking back, he realized no one cared. "Oh, so I was just the weird eater at the dinner party, no one noticed," he probably thought. 2. The fear of being judged. When it comes to the fear of judgment, I'm sure you've all experienced worrying about a slip-up or saying the wrong thing. Friedrich Nietzsche, a German philosopher, once said, "People fear freedom because they fear being judged." Every time we make a tiny mistake, we think it's a disaster. But in reality, while we're afraid of judgment, people often don't care as much as we think they do. I'm sure you've had moments when you greeted someone, but later worried that you may have been rude. Then, months later, you ask, "Did I upset you? I saw you didn't smile when I greeted you." And the person replies, when? I didn't even notice." See? Sometimes, our worries are way bigger than the reality. 3. Lack of objectivity. We often forget that everyone else has their own concerns. Kant once advised, "We do not live for others, but for ourselves." Imagine, if you dislike someone, you may think about them for a moment, but the rest of the time, you're focused on your own issues. Why do we think others are always scrutinizing us? How to overcome the spotlight effect. 1. Acknowledge and accept the reality. The first step is realizing that people are not as focused on you as you think. When you understand that others are busy with their own problems, it's easier to stop worrying about their judgment. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't worry about what you cannot control." Once you accept that people have their own worries, you'll feel a lot lighter. 2. Focus on the present moment. Instead of stressing over what others might think, focus on what you can do right now. Immanuel Kant also encouraged, "We do not live for others, but for ourselves." Do what feels right for you, not because you're afraid of being judged, but because you trust in yourself. 3. Seek freedom from criticism. Once you understand yourself and your actions, you won't fear criticism anymore. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not events that disturb us, but our opinions about them." When you have a solid sense of who you are, criticism from others won't affect you. Conclusion. The spotlight effect is a very common psychological phenomenon, but it's not as powerful as we often think. We create worries in our heads about others' attention, but the truth is, people care less than we think. When we realize this, we can live more freely and peacefully. The world is vast, and everyone has their own worries. You're not the center of the universe. Once you understand this, you'll feel lighter and live more confidently, no longer trapped under the imaginary spotlight you've created.